Coming to you from 6,224 feet in Castle Rock, Colorado.
This is Inside Castle Rock.
I'm Chris Tuchillo, hospitality trainer, leadership and presentation coach, and a local resident the past 2 years.
I'm Brian Cowdery, a professional real estate agent, and I've lived in town for over a decade.
Check out our latest episode as we welcome you inside Castle Rock. Welcome back to another episode of Inside Castle Rock. I am here with my much better half partner in crime and co-host, Brian Cowdery. We are so excited to bring you some really great friends who are part of the Tri-Arts project here in Castle Rock and Douglas County, also known as TAP. And this is actually Brian's first time meeting our guest too. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this one because this is a kind of a local hidden thing that I've never known about. So I'm very excited to talk with both of you. I'm going to be coming at it from somebody who's never heard about it, doesn't really know much about it, except for
It's authentic.
a little bit what Chris said. Yeah. So this will be great. I'm super excited to give you guys some more exposure and just help our town know more about you.
And you know what's nice is we're not really, TAP isn't really going to be hidden for much longer because it's been growing so quickly in the community.
Right.
So our two guests today are Katie D'Arcangelo and Dana Frazee. Katie serves as the vice president of TAP. Dana serves as the president of TAP. But what's even more exciting is they're actually two of the founding members.
That's amazing.
And so we're going to let the two of you tell us and our audience a little bit about you. And Dana, why don't we start with you? And then we'll sort of do a tag team and you can both talk a little bit about TAP.
Well, actually, it's probably best if we start with Katie, because Katie is the founder.
True.
And I came along a little bit later. So I want Katie to
not
start.
too far behind me, but
Love it.
okay, so we started this whole thing. I guess we filed our paperwork in January 22 to become a nonprofit to bring arts to the area. I would say the short story is my background is emergency medicine and psychology, and I moved here during COVID, and I didn't know anyone or anything like that, and I decided to take a sabbatical and try and get back into art because I'd not done art for decades. And so I started trying to find a place to go and paint and learn to sculpt. And there was like nothing. I was driving to Boulder to take a class.
Oh, wow.
And so, but being in Castle Rock, I started meeting all these different artists. You know, there was painters, there was other, welders. There's a school here that builds musical instruments from scratch. It's absolutely,
Awesome.
but like there was no kind of cohesion there.
Yeah, there you go.
And so instead of getting back into art like I intended, a group of us started this nonprofit, and we've pretty much been working on it ever since. So,
So almost literally
That's
the
amazing.
definition of like, I couldn't find it, so I built it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
There's a need out there and you found it. And it's a
Absolutely.
long drive to Boulder.
Yeah.
it is a long
It's
drive.
a long drive to
Avoid
Boulder.
that. That's probably good.
Yeah.
For all of the artists out there, I'm so excited you brought it to Castle Rock.
Yes. Absolutely.
When did you get wrangled in all this?
Well, as soon as she started forming this, I was kind of like this groupie, and I was following this group around.
I love it.
They would have monthly meetings at the library, and they'd have different artists talk, and I was always there. And finally, they asked me to talk, and I did a whole demo on some art
Oh, cool.
and got to know them. And before I knew it, I was coming onto the board. And before I even knew that,
Oh, there goes my squirrel.
I became president of the board.
Now, you've been doing art for many years. What are the primary forms of art? Well, you always say that, and I've seen the art in your house that you've created. So how do you like to express yourself in art?
Well, I started with watercolor, and I was self-taught for
okay.
many years, and then started finding people who did watercolor lessons.
Okay.
And when I got here in Castle Rock, I found Cindy Welch, and I took her classes. She is Castle Rock's premier watercolorist. She's amazing. And so I took her classes, and once I got into Tri-Arts, then I started recruiting Cindy to come teach for us at Tri-Arts. But
Very cool.
Katie wanted me to be president because I had a nonprofit background
Oh, nice.
where I had great organizational skills and
You do.
had led lots of groups before. And I became that person and kind of the person, where I was out talking to the public.
Sure.
And Katie was our backbone. Katie set up the nonprofit.
Okay.
Katie did all of the governing paperwork. And Katie just is driven that way to establish a very fine art organization.
Gotcha.
So the two of us, I feel we've made a really good team.
Seems like it.
I'm going to step down as president this April,
Okay.
and Katie's going to step up and be president.
Nice.
This
That's amazing.
April. Yeah. So that'll be good.
Very cool. I would love to hear kind of your, like, where you started, and what year. I know you said it was around COVID timeframe, right?
Mhm.
And then, like, what did that look like at the time? What were you doing? How many people were involved?
Yeah.
Oh God, there was probably initially, I think there were like 6 of us.
Okay.
And we were just meeting in someone's kitchen, actually, Joni Porter. She hosted us for a solid year. And we would, we were just doing all kind of the administrative stuff for a while because I wanted to make sure that our ducks were in order before we even went out into the public, basically. Because there's been some other kind of movements for art in the area, but I feel like, I don't know if it's not the right time or just the organization wasn't there or something like that. And so I just wanted to make sure that that was all set. So then, I built a very basic website for us because I could just do a basic one. So we did that. We started meeting all these instructors and artists, and we're like, you should share your craft and come teach with us. So we started accruing all these artists and teachers that were interested in coming to work at the art center whenever we got it.
Gotcha.
So we spent 2022 like that. And then 23, we really started going out, like telling people about our program, what we wanted to do. We had nothing, we didn't have a center. We didn't have classes.
Just
Dana.
want to come join us? We got nothing. Let's go.
For real, it was
ground level.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love
We
it.
get to be at the beginning.
Yeah, we had taught one class at Wellspring. Joni did a jewelry class
very
there.
cool.
And then
Love
you
Wellspring.
set up the quilling class at Corinne Christian's house, and she was a fantastic host. And then that fall, we had our first gala. And we raised like $80,000 with nothing.
Wow.
That kind of really propelled
That's
us
incredible.
into this, like, all right, we
It just
have
shows you the
this.
need that was there, and the excitement and all that. That's
Well, I
this
think
gap that's missing in the community.
People were very surprised that we raised that much money.
Yeah.
And I said at that gala that we would open an art center in 2024. And people came up to me afterwards and said, are you really? I said, well, we don't know where yet, but we're going to do it.
If it's under a tent, we're going to do it. Right?
and we did. And it was about that time that we started talking to Jeff Brower from Parks and Rec here in the town.
Nice.
Because the town had bought Cantrell. And Katie and I had toured it, and we did some strategic planning, and we decided in strategic planning, we were debating, do we go with our own space that we rent, or do we try to move into Cantrell because the town was moving some of their art programs to Cantrell.
Gotcha.
So that made sense to
For
us to
synergy
go
there.
that
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it took us a while.
Very cool. That's awesome.
I remember being in, we've only lived in Castle Rock, Jen and I, for about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
But I remember there was so much buzz about Cantrell when the town bought it.
Yes.
Because they wanted the town to know, like, hey, these are historic buildings that matter, but we're not just going to buy it and sit on it. Like, we want to do something with it.
Yeah.
And that was long before I ever heard about Tri Arts Project. And so what made Cantrell, other than the fact that the town was doing art in there, what about Cantrell really inspired each of you?
I would say it's a cool building. If you've never
Very-
been
very
there,
much
you
so,
should
yeah. Very
definitely
much
go
so.
Real
there.
quick, where is it off of?
It-
Just so everybody knows.
4th and Cantrell.
4th and Country.
Yeah, it's-
Okay,
What
perfect.
is that, Lewis? Is between Lewis and...
Downtown,
Yeah.
right?
I would say it's
Yeah.
like right
Yeah.
behind Castle Rock.
Yeah, it's like 2
I
blocks,
know,
2 blocks
yes.
behind the fire.
In that little
hall. Yeah.
neighborhood there.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, behind the fire station.
Yeah, the
it's like
fire
2 blocks up
station,
the hill.
and then you go
That's
east
perfect.
2 blocks.
Okay.
So it's a really beautiful space. They have an entire city block there because it's on the property. And then there's like a playground. There's a grassy area. Has like so much potential. It was originally a schoolhouse. It was the first, I believe, high school in Douglas County.
Oh, that's cool.
So George Washington went.
Once he got here,
Once he got here,
Yeah.
I think he got down the cherry tree.
But and so it was, built for that. It has classrooms and
That's
that
awesome.
history. So, but it is an old building, so it does need, it needed some updating, which they spent the first year just doing upgrades, trying to make it more handicap accessible, electricity, bathrooms, all that type
Gotcha.
of stuff. So
Okay.
Yeah. They couldn't believe it when Katie and I were walking through the building, and there's this giant hallway in the old part of the building. And we looked at it and said, this could be an art gallery. And they looked at us like we were a little bit crazy.
I can't see it as anything else now.
I know. But
Yeah.
we once we signed the contract with the town in late July of 2024, then they were having a state of the town.
Yeah.
That's right. Jason, the mayor, was doing his state of the town, and we got our first art gallery up in time so that it was
amazing.
all beautiful for
That's
the state
awesome.
of the town.
Okay.
And we change that art gallery out every 4 months and have
very
what we
cool.
call a tap talk night.
Okay.
And we recruit judges, we give them a stipend, and they jury the show, decide what goes into the show. And then during the night, the judges give a little talk, and then all the artists talk about the works that were chosen to be put on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got to ask you. So what is what is your driving force behind all of this? What is it that your passion behind that something needed to happen here? And then what's your purpose in kind of doing all these, getting this building, doing classes, having these competitions and judges and things like that? What is it you really hope to see come out of all of this?
Well, kind of in the greater sense, you can argue that art is beautiful, it's therapeutic, it is good for your mental health, your physical health. It brings community together, gives a sense of community. It is a economic driver. It brings people to town that spend money. They're paying for our classes, but going to restaurants.
Gotcha.
But personally, what I love about it is kind of the way it changes a human. To participate in this process of creating, you're focused, you're not worried about your chores that day or your bills you got to pay. You're present in the moment. And I've seen it.
It's a very rare thing right now, isn't it?
It is. It's
It is
very much
rare.
needed.
For
So,
sure.
I did art therapy in prison before
Oh, wow.
to see adult males that are in prison kind of laid up and be proud of something they're doing. I've worked with juveniles before, and so any age, it works for any age. It's really cool to see.
That's amazing.
People get totally lost in doing art, and it just is this freeing sensation that they're not worried about everything else going on. They're just there in that moment, creating something beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you're with other humans.
Yeah.
In a class.
Yeah.
You
In
come
a
there, you
class.
meet people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Gets us off the
Fundamentally,
screens,
one
right?
of the things that people really look for is community.
Yes.
And there are people who say, "Oh, I love living in my community," but they don't get out in their community.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would say that whether it's a church, whether it's a school community, an art center,
Yeah.
people are desperately striving for that. I have friends that'll tell me that playing golf gives them community. I was like, you're with 3 other people,
Right.
one of which you probably don't like. I get that it's beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're doing things like that, you're experiencing your own art and other people's art sort of
It's
happening.
a shared experience.
it
Is
really
exactly what I
is.
was going to say.
But
Yeah.
also, no piece of art is the same that's happening,
That's
even if
right.
your focus, your subject is the same.
Right.
Off camera in a part of it looks so organized in here. Another part of this downstairs of my home, there is a organized chaos of my wife's glass studio.
Yeah.
And there are things happening in there that are absolutely magical. I never go in there without shoes on because it's dangerous. But I know that magic is sort of occurring in there at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ladies know this, and you know this. While I am not an artist,
Yeah.
I have such a love of what I see as people create. And you kind of mentioned how people get lost in that.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
for my wife, Jen, you can tell when she hasn't been making glass, when she hasn't been creating, because she'll get she'll get antsy.
Yeah.
And I'll look at her and I was like, "You okay?" She's
Right.
like, "I'm in the glass studio." I was like,
Yeah.
we need to make that happen.
Yeah.
I need to be fed regularly. You need to do art.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all have our vices in life.
Yeah. That's right.
I think people do. They can get really lost in that. And what a great way you said
Absolutely.
instead of screens.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Well, Brian, you asked about the mission.
Yeah.
And the mission has always been to create a center here in Castle Rock that could serve Douglas County and surrounding areas, where our mission is to have a place for community. present art, create
Mm.
art,
Mm.
do art. You know, it's
Mhm.
just amazing. There was nothing here.
Yeah.
You know, Lone Tree has one, Parker has one, Colorado Springs, nothing here. And Castle Rock really prides itself on being a standalone town.
Yes, it
Like
does.
we have
Right.
everything here in Castle Rock. And as I told
Mm.
town council many years ago, we have everything but an art center.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I smiled at town council and said,
You're
and
like-
we're going to do it.
I love that.
I remember going to a gala last year before I got involved with the organization. And I remember up on stage, Jason Gray, and I've told you this before. Jason Gray got up there and he said, I've seen a lot of people try this. He said, and it was kind of a downer. He's like,
Mm.
and it never works.
Yeah.
And you were like, and everybody was like,
Oh.
oh, okay, thanks.
All right.
He goes,
That's
he
encouraging.
goes, but this is different. It looks different. It feels different. It is
Mm.
the fact that we're all in that room makes it
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
He's like, this is going to be the thing that really sticks in Castle Rock.
Wow.
That's right. Politicians don't say stuff that they don't
Yeah.
know to be true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like they want absolutes. And he said
Yeah.
that in such a way full of
Right.
conviction. And I think you got back up on stage and you're like, I didn't know he was going to say that, but that was wonderful.
Yes.
It felt so good for the community
Yeah.
to hear that from the
Yeah.
proverbial horse that represents us to outside areas.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. So I'm also super curious. I just have so many questions now. So if somebody, like, where are you at now? Like, and kind of where, you kind of heard a little bit about where you started, but then kind of where are things right now and how has it grown since you started?
I want Katie to talk about that.
Okay.
Because this has really been, I mean, she, as I say, she has been the backbone of
Mm.
the organization. And she has a drive that's amazing. And she is ready to take us to the next place.
That's
So you
amazing.
talk about
Yeah, I'd
that.
love to hear
Yeah.
that.
So, well, we launched our first classes September of 24.
Okay.
And it was kind of interesting because the town had put an RFP out. We wrote a proposal to run their arts programming at
Mm.
Cantrell.
Mm.
And they granted the green light. I think it was like July 20th.
Yes.
And like 6 weeks later, we opened with 150 classes.
Oh my gosh.
We did.
So,
You're from 0 to
Yeah,
100 in no
awesome.
time.
so we kind of hit the ground running. And then it kind of continued that into 2025. You know, really just kind of getting our brand awareness out there because people still don't know we're there. So we're trying to find different marketing avenues, different people to reach.
Gotcha.
And so just growing our people knowing we're doing, sending their kids to us, sending their grandparents to us, them taking classes. So, and it's really starting to pick up now. So we're, you know, we have many classes that are full. We have run almost every single class that has been in our catalog this semester so far. And so this year, I think we continue to grow that. And we also have been modifying based on the feedback we've gotten from the town, which is really important to us because
Sure.
we're a nonprofit
Makes
that is
sense, yeah.
serving the community. That's what our job is. And so, you know, one of the feedback we got is people, you know, we're worried about the supplies list for classes because
Yes.
pretty much every art class you take, whether it's at Art Students League or a local community college or something, you buy all the supplies, which can get very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Something
then
I
you
would
show
think
up to
about,
a
right.
class and you don't know if you like it or not. And
Uh-huh.
so part of that feedback, I would say about 90% of our classes have all supplies provided.
Yeah.
So you just register and show up
amazing.
and you
I
get
love
to
that.
take that class. So it's
Yeah.
Okay.
low pressure.
So
It
you're
also
taking the
frees up your
barriers
free time.
away.
We're
Yeah.
trying to take those barriers away. Yeah.
That's
And-
incredible. Okay.
Yeah, because it's overwhelming if you think you have to buy all of these watercolor supplies and then you don't
Sure.
like
And am
watercolor.
I
you
getting
know?
the right ones? Am I not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
100%.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So we're taking that away and
Okay.
inviting people in. Come
Gotcha.
try it.
I love it.
Try.
So is this
Try
through like the
arts.
rec center and all the town of Castle Rock activities, or is this kind of its own separate thing that the town supports or that you're kind of providing for the town?
Yeah, we contracted with the town
Okay.
for space. So we have 2 classroom spaces and then we have the art gallery.
Okay.
And but everything, they can go to our website and start signing up for classes. But then it goes to the town's Parks and Rec site.
Ah,
And
okay.
they do, it's really quite
You do all the
helpful to us.
registrations and everything.
All the registration goes through the town.
Amazing.
So then we get our people that way, and the town does a schedule. Katie does this schedule. They work together on putting the
Mm.
entire schedule together into the town's website and to our website. and into our booklets, everywhere.
But then it's also
That's
in
awesome.
South Suburban Parks and Rec in that class booklet too, isn't it? That big booklet of classes
I
that they
don't
sent out. Which
well,
one's
believe
that?
so.
Or is the recreation?
It's
book?
like
It's the rec
oh,
guide.
the rec
The rec
guide.
guide.
The
Yeah.
rec guide. The
Yeah.
town does it
I
in
mean,
the rec guide.
And
Yeah.
it's not like a footnote. It is like the
A
whole
section.
middle of the rec guide
Love
Yeah.
is all of the
Okay.
class schedules for TAP. So whether or not you end up with like actually getting a TAP booklet from someone or seeing it in a local area,
Yeah.
or you get that which everyone gets in their home, like word's getting out really fast and it's easy to find classes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's
We
so much variety.
That's
we take up like 7 pages in that rec guide.
I saw it. It came
That's
in,
amazing.
Yeah.
and I looked and I was
love
flipping
it.
through it. I was like, look at this.
Uh-huh.
And my wife's like, why are you so excited about the rec guide? I was like, TAP's right in the middle.
It's right
Yeah.
here. We did it.
I was like, we
We're in
did
it.
this.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Very cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if I'm a family, which I am,
Yeah.
of 4.
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, I have a family of 4, right? So we have teenagers, we have a middle school and elementary,
And
Yeah.
your family is 6, Brian.
6. We have
4
4
kids.
kids.
You and Season don't count?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. According to them, we don't count.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As long as the checks keep clearing. they're like,
Exactly.
yeah.
So family of 6. I imagine there's a lot of families, of course, around here, individuals, but how do they get involved? Like, what would you recommend as far as like, what kind of, share maybe a little bit about the classes you have, different ages, different styles of art. If I'm like, hey, 13-year-old son, like what would I tell him?
Well, we have an agreement with the town that we will not duplicate any of their classes.
Okay.
So, for instance, we don't do pottery
Okay.
because the town offers pottery. We don't do kids art because the town offers kids art.
Okay.
Kids Art is a program that
Right.
they run. And it's for
Gotcha.
younger kids and like preschool up through, I want to say like 14 or something like that is the
Okay.
ages that they run.
Right. So then we begin at that point.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
our classes, but we've had some parents come to us and say that their son, daughter is very talented and really wants to go the next step in oil painting.
Mm.
And so that instructor will take a look at that student's work and decide if they can come in that class.
Okay.
And I
So
will
these
say that
primarily for adults? Is that-
so
It's
yeah,
high
we'll-
school, middle
High
school.
yeah,
We
middle
start
school
at
and-
middle school.
Yeah, we're trying
Okay.
to catch. So,
Gotcha.
art is fostered when you're young. And then it's like, put that
Sure.
away. We got to do math and science and English. And
Yeah.
so to catch that group of people that still want to pursue that, whether it's middle school, high school ages, that's kind of where we generally start. So our classes by default are 16 and older,
Okay.
but we do have some listed for 13 and older. But I encourage parents to send us a message if they're interested, because I would say of the parents that have emailed us, because the Kids Art class is a little bit more crafty.
Okay.
So if you want to learn watercolor as a 14-year-old, that you would have to come to us. So
Okay.
Yeah.
we ask people
That's
to email us, and I will say we have made an exception for 100% of the people, the parents that have emailed us.
Okay.
So we do just check with the instructor that they're comfortable with the younger student and that the
Right.
topic is appropriate and all that. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
And we'll put it in the taglines for the podcast when we post it. But what is the email address that folks that are watching, if they wanted to write it down right now, what is the email address they should use?
It'll be asktap, ASKTAP at tryartsproject.org.
There you go.
Amazing.
Always nice to have that.
Love it.
We'll write it down
Yes.
too, but some folks are feverishly like,
Yeah.
oh, like I've been looking for this.
Yeah.
They want to write it down right away.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now, the gala is coming up. We've talked a little bit about the gala, and I've told folks that part of the fun part about TAP was last year, you got to do one gala, but you got to pay for it twice.
Yes.
And that was not through mismanagement. That was through the fact that there was a massive, massive snowstorm in October of 24?
November.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
Was it 24?
It was
It was November 8th.
the day of the.
Whenever it was. Yeah.
And it wasn't like
I
we
think
got
it
a
was
dusting. It was like
22 inches.
apocalyptic snow,
I
even for
remember
our
that
part of the country.
storm. Yes.
And so at that point, you really can't ask an event center to be like, hey, could we just carry it over? So you moved the gala. We ended up doing it in April. Tell us a little bit about the gala, because the next one's coming up in April. Is it April 25th?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit
April
about what to
25th.
look forward to.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. This will be our third gala. The first one was kind of cowboy theme. People wore cowboy clothes. Last year it was black and white, and didn't matter what,
Okay.
but black and white.
You get all kinds of.
You can get
Oh,
tuxedo.
yeah.
We had someone wear a black and white David Bowie shirt.
Oh, I
So
love it.
anything goes.
That's
It
awesome.
was awesome.
I bet.
And I remember one participant, she was really mad at her husband because she showed up in a red dress and she said, I didn't get this message. It was funny. But anyway, this year it's color. Everybody's supposed to wear color, all kinds of color. I mean, multicolors if you want. And we're having it at the fairgrounds at Kirk Hall.
Okay, fun.
And Katie has been part of the gala committee. So you talk more about all of that.
Yeah, it's going to be a very colorful event. We're going to have some really cool LED art there that you can take your picture in. We're going to have some projection mapping. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of just swirls of color that are going to decorate the walls.
Nice.
We'll have a really nice spread of food as well as an open bar. So, I mean, and we'll also have an auction. So.
Oh, and our auctioneer is Mike Wade. For anybody who knows Mike Wade, he used to be the mayor of Parker.
Okay.
And then he was the executive director of Douglas County Community Foundation.
I've heard he has a big personality.
Oh,
he is,
Mike.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's awesome.
He is a lot of fun.
Very
and I think he's going to help us have a lot of fun.
You got to have big personalities to get the party going,
Yes,
right? Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. It makes a
yes.
difference.
It
for
does.
Sure.
It really does.
So,
Tickets are still available.
okay. And when is the gala?
April 25th.
25th. Okay.
And then the
Gotcha.
tickets are now $175, but you can still buy a table. You can be a sponsor if you'd like to. We
Amazing.
have bronze, silver, gold sponsor levels.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about those?
Very cool.
I've been to a lot of events where the table sponsor gets you your name on the table and it gets you everything everybody else has. These are different.
Yeah, this is different.
Katie, I know you had a lot of your hands in a lot of the creation of the packages. I think it'd be really great to let them know kind of what's included with some of these extras they get.
Yeah, so we'll start with the gold. So the gold is a $10,000 sponsorship. We have one so far, and that you'll get, the table recognition, and we have some really cool like little gifts for them and for their organization. And then, but the big thing is that it's going to support what we're doing, the mission. And so part of the gold package is we're really trying to bring performing arts to the area.
Oh, cool.
And so we have a group of people that we're working with to bring some brand new classes this fall that people can do improv. We're running a kids Dungeons and Dragons class. And so just kind of like allow people to experience that. So, so we're looking for some funding to help kind of launch that aspect of it. Along with, just building up our gallery more and making the classrooms a little bit more, I guess, comfortable and welcoming. So so that's our gold level. And then we have a silver level. And what that is going towards that's the community classes.
Yes.
And so by sponsoring a silver level, you're funding, I think we said up to 50 participants in a community class. So we would send our instructors out with all the supplies.
Okay.
And that could be at a senior center or, at the Pinery or something like that. So, so you're helping to bring arts out into the community for people that might not be able to make it into Cantrell or something like that.
Yeah. That one's $5,000.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we have a bronze, which is a $3,000 sponsorship. And what that goes to is basically kind of a private class if you opt into that. So we have a list of classes you can choose from, all different media. And then you would pick which one you want to do, and you can invite 5 of your friends and you come and you take a class with us.
Oh, cool.
It could be painting, it could be glass, cookie decorating, any of this stuff. So, or, if some people are a little bit hesitant to participate, you can, gift it to your employees or your friends. Or the third option is we would put that back into the program itself and then offer that at a very steep discount whenever people register just the community.
Nice.
So
I love that. That's amazing.
A bunch of different ways that it serves the community.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, I have a really interesting question. So if there's other artists that are out there that say, hey, I could come teach or I could come be a part of this, not just to take a class, but then to be a part of helping you guys, in another aspect. My wife's also an artist and she went to CU for ceramics.
Oh, wow.
And she's always creating too. Very similar thing. Like if she's not making something, she's not happy. And so every night we're watching TV or, it's just constant, crocheting, knitting, doing clay. She's painting our church right now. Literally right now. The kids' hallways.
When I first met her, she was painting the kitchen. So that sounds interesting.
So she was painting the kitchen. She's painting our kids' hallways at our church right now. But if there is somebody like that, because she's always thought, man, it'd be really fun to teach, but we actually have never thought of an avenue. And so just be curious, like what would somebody need to do for that, or kind of what's your process around that?
They would just need to talk to Katie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Easy enough.
the easiest thing is to
My
send it.
my
Two board
question was
members, Katie
way.
does it all though.
The answer to every question is talk to Katie.
Yeah. But we have Kim and Sharon who have been a fantastic help from the educational aspect of it, scheduling and contracts and planning. And so the easiest way would be to just send an email to the ask tab at tryartsproject.org.
Okay.
And then we can kind of get you to the people that you need to go to. We're very supportive of our artists and instructors. Everyone gets paid at least a living wage.
Oh, cool.
And they don't need their own insurance. Our insurance covers them to kind of get those hurdles
Love
out
it.
of the way.
That's awesome.
And then, we basically just kind of work with each teacher individually, which ends up being a bit of work, but it's fantastic because we can accommodate. So, a lot of artists have other jobs and that kind of stuff. So we work with them. You can teach your class on the evenings or on the weekends.
Yeah.
And so, and then we kind of work with you. We tell them these are the kind of classes that seem to do better. Like we haven't had a lot of success with 8-week long courses.
Yeah.
We're getting
That
there,
doesn't-
but so we tell
Sure.
them, shorter stuff for people to kind of get their, hands dirty.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's up to them.
Okay.
And we
Yeah.
have another opportunity for teachers because we have an outreach program.
Mm.
We have two kinds of outreach. One that is grant funded,
Mm.
and Douglas County Community Foundation has supported us in the past. And right now we have $2,000 from them for art supplies for outreach programs. And so we look for instructors who will go into senior living homes and teach classes.
That's cool.
But we also do community offsite classes that we've done at the Pinery, or we've done
you
out
got
here
really
at
excited when they
Montaigne.
mentioned that earlier. So so you've done 2 or 3 at the Pinery so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
3
love
at
that.
least. Yeah,
That's awesome.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about 12 people can attend those classes. And we have an outstanding outreach instructor. Chelsea Mall teaches most of those. And
Wow.
it's a lot of fun.
I bet.
But we have other outreach instructors, and we're always looking for other people who might want to do that because
Sure.
we've learned doing the outreach classes at the senior homes that they want, if we come back 4 weeks in a row, they want to do something different each time.
Yeah.
So they want to do maybe painting this
Sure.
week, and maybe they want to do ink on coasters the next week. So we've got a variety of classes now for the outreach classes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, that's such a what a way to make an impact, on people who are frankly just forgotten a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is a little close to home because my mom was in an assisted living for a while. And it was they just kind of unless something like that's happening, they're just kind of sitting around.
Yeah.
And I got to imagine that's helping kind of bring their life back to them and some dignity
Absolutely.
and all of that.
Absolutely.
Sense of community again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And have something to show off. How cool for them to, take that back to their room and
Yeah.
all that.
I have to tell you a story.
Yes,
We
please.
did one outreach class. We've done several at Oakwood Apartments here in town in Castle Rock.
Oh, yeah.
And I went one night to take pictures and just say hi to everybody as Chelsea was teaching. And I noticed one woman wasn't participating. And she said, "Well, I'm just too tired tonight." And I said, "Okay." And Chelsea keeps her in the class anyway. And I said, "Well, I was hoping I'd get a picture of your parrot that you all did last week." She said, "I'll be right back." And she got up, she went to her apartment, came back, brought me her parrot picture,
I love it.
which was beautiful.
Yeah.
She was so proud of it, and I thought, okay, this is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
She didn't want to paint that night, but she wanted to be part of the group.
Right. You still just hang out.
Just
Yeah.
hang
And
out.
just be
I
there.
know.
I love it.
It was so cute. I
That's
loved it.
awesome.
I got a picture of her with her parrot.
Oh, I bet.
Isn't it funny though, like most people, a lot of people will get tired. If you ask them about something that they love or they're excited about, all of a sudden they're infused with energy.
Yeah.
Because you've been curious, you want to know about them.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you asked that, knowing what they had done the week prior,
Yeah.
probably made, she was like, "Who's this?" And you're like, "I'm Dana Frazee. But it was a desire to kind of know more.
Yes.
And get to know that person on an
Yeah.
individual basis.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
wife has taught in senior living centers for 12 years now over in Aurora. And people always think, oh, senior centers are full of a bunch of old people. It's not. Some of the people that move in there are in their late 50s.
Yes.
And they're looking for community.
Yes.
Life has changed for them, but they're more active than some 30-year-olds that I know.
Sure.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is
And so
true.
it's like, how do we keep them excited and inspired? And that's
Right.
sort of, asking your students, what do you want?
Yeah.
I don't want the same class 4 weeks in a row. I want something different.
Different.
I want to taste different experiences of art to kind of see maybe what I'm into or to get back into a hobby that I haven't done in a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I think
really
that's
fun to
amazing.
watch that.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any stories you have you could share? Because that's one of the things, like when Chris and I started this podcast, we would talk about like the community of Castle Rock. Like I'd love to hear any kind of life change or even simple changes that you've seen from somebody who's come into since starting this, that you look at them and you go, this is worth it. This is why we do what we do.
Well, that was one.
That was one.
I told you that
Apparently,
one.
Love it.
That was absolutely adorable. I think one night I could tell Katie was in the other room taking an abstract art course from Christian Dior. And I was in the other room with Brian Hubble teaching oil painting classes, and both classes were pretty full. And I think the energy in both rooms, because people were going back and forth. What are you doing in that room? What are you doing in this room?
We can't help but compare, right? You know?
It was so much fun. And there was
I'm
just
imagining
this,
them like this, like,
yes,
looking around.
I know.
No cheating. You can't do that. You create your own art.
But like Katie, she'd never done abstract art. That was like one of my very first oil painting
cool.
classes. And now I'm pursuing oil painting. And, it's just things like that. Another cool experience we had is we invited town council to come and take class.
Love it. Oh, that's a good
And
idea.
only 2 town council people took me up on it, and the mayor.
Okay.
Okay. And then one of them brought friends. So we had a pretty full class, and Chelsea was teaching that class, and she was teaching them how to do the parrot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They were hysterical. They had so much fun and really working on their parrots. But our mayor, Jason, who owns Crowfoot Coffee, this is important. His parrot began to look like a crow.
I was waiting for that.
It was great. They all stood up with their paintings at the end, and I took a picture. And all these
Like, that's not a
colorful
parrot.
parrots, and there's this black parrot.
Nobody realized at the beginning Jason was making art for his coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I know exactly where this is going to go. Maybe it's like a pirate parrot. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very like the Jolly Roger.
Yeah.
black
That's
and
It's
white.
like a cross between the two.
Exactly.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
We also had a class for all our sponsors.
Oh,
And-
that's good.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
came. And a lot of them were like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But Brian Hubble was teaching them. He is great. He just goes, pick up that paintbrush, pick up that blue, get it on that canvas.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they just had fun,
bet.
doing the class and realizing they could have fun doing art too.
Yeah.
And that's what we want people to feel.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So give them the experience, and then they can be advocates for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And show them like this
Absolutely.
is why it's important.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Right.
I
Very
want to brag on. So one of the things that I know is that Dana invited me to be on the board this past fall, and I love this story because it is just who I am. So when she asked me to coffee and we were talking about this, after saying like, "Oh wow, thank you, that's so kind," the first question I asked is why, not why Tap, but why me? I was like, why would you pick the colorblind guy to be on the art board? And Dana's answer has
That's
just
awesome.
always it stayed with me, but it also speaks to the type of intentional person that Dana is. And now I've come to know Katie as well.
Yeah.
Is she said, because you show up to stuff. She's like, we want people that want to be here.
Yeah.
We don't want somebody that's like, oh, I don't know if you know, I'm on 12 boards and I don't know anyone, but I'm on all these boards. And so as a non-artist, one of the things I'm so proud of at the last Tap Talk was watching Abigail Collins,
Yes.
who is now in charge of our gallery. It was her first chance to showcase what she put together.
Yes.
It was so organized. It was so thoughtful. And then she's up there and she's like, oh, I'm nervous about talking. And she got up there in front of everybody and just knocked them
Crushed
apart.
it.
Yeah.
That's
It was like
awesome.
she'd always been doing.
She did.
It was such a fantastic event. And so I think that type of
It's like
energy,
it unlocked a whole
it
new
really did. Like she had
version
like a
of her
secret,
inside.
extroverted, like huge energy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I've had the privilege of doing a few lunches with Abigail to talk to potential sponsors of the gala.
Yeah.
And it's so great to have like an artist come and speak to people about like what art means to them.
Yeah.
It's one thing to say, hey, this is an organization I believe in, sure, but I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
And so it's so cool to see artists in a way, that's like a skill that Abigail didn't realize that she had, but she has it in spades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to watch that first event be so successful, that was a very cool moment for me to
I
experience.
bet.
Yeah, it's fun to watch your friends be successful.
Oh,
But
100%.
he says he's not an artist, but he's married to an
That's
artist.
right.
He's
Yes.
very good.
Chris is
artist.
an
Patron of
artist
the
of
arts.
words, for
Yes.
sure.
I know there's
You're a
a
word
lot in
artist.
that. There's a lot of love in it.
Yep.
There's absolutely love.
100%.
Should we do, before we wrap up, should we do
Yeah.
a quick little speed round where we just ask a little bit about them?
I want to.
Okay.
Yep, that'd be great.
So we love
Right.
to ask these questions because it's all about, right? Our podcast is filmed in Castle Rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've been offered to go to studios, but they're not in Castle Rock.
Nope.
So it's
So we
in
created
Castle
our own.
Rock for Castle Rock, and it's about Castle Rock.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions, and you can just popcorn how you answer these. Tell us a little bit about, if we're not finding you at the Cantrell School or at your homes, where would we find you in Castle Rock? What business or place really do you gravitate towards in our community?
Oh my gosh, if I'm not at Cantrell.
It's a long list of bars and restaurants.
What would be your top 2 or 3 that you spend time at?
Oh God.
So the stalkers can find you.
Yeah. Right.
Union Bistro. Kim is wonderful, the owner there, and they always
Huge
have
supporter of the
delicious
arts.
food.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Kim
Very
Hyden.
good.
She's
Yeah.
very supportive.
I like Block and Bottle. I like the.
So you just
I
kind
like
of
the
bounce between the
atmosphere
two.
there.
Just go back
So,
and forth across the street.
Yeah. I just work my way up the road.
Depending on
and
where
then I
happy
step
hour is,
back
I like
over.
it.
Yeah.
Well, and this afternoon we have a meeting
Yeah.
at 3:00 at Courtyard Social.
nice.
When you
Yeah.
do that, it loses credibility.
I know.
Meeting. Very important meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we do. We meet lots of people in restaurants here
Yeah.
in town because we have such fabulous little
Yeah.
restaurants here.
I was
Just-
actually just thinking all the coffee shops is where
Yes.
you'll find us.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Love it.
do a lot of our meetings and, talking to people at the coffee shops because it's fun to get out and
Oh,
be
yeah.
out in the community, obviously. And, if they've already seen Cantrell, like if they haven't, then we'll take them to Cantrell to kind of show them around. But
Right.
yeah,
Love it.
lots of
Cough 33 is another one that's very supportive of the arts. They hang
Mhm.
art on their walls. And so we have a lot of meetings there.
fantastic.
We have a lot of meetings at Crowfoot Coffee.
Now, I have to say
Yeah.
this because
Art, yeah.
Heather has watched a few of our episodes.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, if you're going to talk about our coffee shop, I've always called it
Oh,
Coffee
yes.
33. It's coffee.
It's
Yeah.
coffee.
People still, when I say coffee, they say, where? And I
Right.
go, oh, Coffee 33. So, Heather, if you're watching, we mean no disrespect.
That's right.
I still call it Coffee 33. I
Yeah,
hope you don't hate
I
me
think
for
most
that.
people
But
do,
if I
but
say it, they
yeah,
don't know.
their intent
If I
was
say coffee, they say
33.
which one? And I'm like, oh, that's not clear. So, yes,
Yeah.
coffee is one of my favorite
Yeah.
places
Yes,
to meet
yeah.
at. And
Definitely.
also great supporters of the arts. They
Yes.
have that wonderful gallery hallway.
Mhm. Yes.
That's in the back, and they change out probably every 3 months.
Yes.
It's beautiful displays.
It
There's a
is.
really gorgeous, I think, oil painter that's in there right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Has some 3D art that's up on there. And you'll see the artists
Yeah.
many times in there talking to people about their art.
Right.
Sometimes it's someone that wants to purchase a piece of art.
That's right.
So it's fun that that's a little meeting hub as well.
Yeah.
What about you, Dana?
Well, I'm at coffee.
We spend a lot of time together.
33. Yeah, we do. And
So wherever one of you is, the other is too.
let's see. I spend a lot of time this past 5 years at my desk because I wrote a book.
Oh,
So-
amazing.
Anyway, that's
And you're
It's-
leaving to go promote that book on Wednesday.
yes, I am. Yes, I am.
okay.
I'm going to Texas.
Tell us a little bit about the book.
It's a biography of my grandfather, who was a Texas hero, and Texas A&M
Mm.
University Press
Ah, it's close to your
published
heart.
my book.
That's awesome.
So I'm going down to the
Okay.
State Historical Association
Oh, very
convention and signing books.
Oh, how fun. Good
Yeah.
for you.
So
Congrats.
if I wasn't doing Tri Arts, I was writing a book.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
what I
that.
did these past so many years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And a reminder again, how long have you each lived in Castle Rock? I know you moved during COVID.
Yeah. 21.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess it's
About 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here 8 years.
8 years.
5 and 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are some other? Oh, I know. Ski vacation,
Mhm.
beach vacation, or staycation?
Do we want to talk about it?
Which
No,
one
no,
would
which
you
one
want?
would you pick?
Oh, I would take beach.
Beach. Okay.
Beach, all right.
I used to be snowboard or ski or whatever, but it's weird because since I moved here now, I'd much rather go to the beach.
Well, it's going to be
That's awesome.
70 outside. You could probably.
Yeah, I was
get
gonna
Yeah,
say, good
exactly.
news. There's no
Right.
snow anyway right now.
Yeah,
So
I know, right. Yeah.
that's awesome.
And cocktail, mocktail, or something else.
A gin martini.
Gin.
Gin
Yes.
martini. There
Bravo.
you go.
I think every time I spend time with Dana, I love her like 5%.
A little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. What about you, Katie?
Probably, yeah, cocktail, Manhattan on the rocks.
There we go.
Nice.
I like it.
I
Except
yeah. Love it.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else exciting that's going on either with your own individual art or with TAP that we didn't talk about that you want to mention?
Well, I think we did briefly mention that we're looking at performing arts. So we're in conversations with the town again, because everything that we do, since we're in the town building, we partner with the town on any new ventures. So we're in the middle of our conversations with the town about performing arts and how we might use that cute little stage in Cantrell. It's there.
Is there?
It's
nice.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we teach classes, then can we use the stage to perform? So we're in those kind of conversations right now. And that would include children too.
Fun.
Love that.
Yeah.
My son did with Spotlight then. I think it's changed names since then. But yeah, he did that for a while. Loved it over there.
Yeah.
So doing some more of that would be
Very
amazing.
fun.
I think that's very much needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. I
That's
think
awesome.
that will round us out because,
Yeah.
that's presentation of the arts.
Totally. Love it.
Yeah.
That's
I hope
awesome.
you like cats.
We have a little bit of a cat invasion going on.
Yeah, but we do.
Special guest appearance.
Benny knows once it's been 45 minutes, she comes down. That's like the hook.
That's right. You
She's
trained
like,
her
"It's
super
no-
well.
She's so well trained. She's so well
So guys, I gotta
Exactly.
Wrap it up.
You wrap this up.
Well, should we go ahead and put a bow on things?
Well, Katie, is there anything else you wanted to share that we'd missed?
Oh my God. No, I think most what I want to do is thank all of our board and volunteers because our organization is 100% volunteer run. So
Yes.
when you look at our website, when you see our schedule of classes, when you see our marketing, it's all volunteer people. And it's a huge
phenomenal
testament.
amount of work.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
I
Yes.
think one of the other ways, you'd asked how people can kind of get involved.
Yeah, you connect.
Some folks see it and they're like, I don't really want to take art classes or I don't think I'm ready. The gallery requires a tremendous amount of work, especially when we're putting together and
Sure, that
taking
makes
down
sense.
events.
Yeah.
So they can actually get involved by being a volunteer within the gallery. Again,
Yes,
ask TAP at
Yep.
triartsproject.org. You'll get to work with the fabulous Abigail Collins and kind of, who's leading that effort there.
Yeah.
But that takes more than just one set of hands to get that done. So we'll let your
Sure.
family know when we need 6 people.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
you have a big
They
family.
might or might not be helpful. We'll see.
Exactly. And I'll bring my daughter Emma and she'll tell everybody what to do.
Yeah,
She's
there you
very
go.
good at that.
We also
That's
take
awesome.
volunteers for our outreach classes because
Yes.
very often that instructor needs somebody else to help them
Ah,
get
set that
everything
up,
ready
yeah.
for the outreach classes.
Okay.
They don't have to teach it, but they have to be there and be part of it. And
yeah,
so that's a really nice volunteer opportunity for people.
amazing. I
When
love
Dana's not president, she's going to write grants. She's also going to make everybody drink martinis. The best class you've ever been to. I don't know where this cocktail came from.
that art's gonna get real fun.
It
real
really is
fast.
going to get a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason
But-
very might use some color in his painting.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Well, I can tell you guys have just done a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Since the beginning, obviously your growth has been great, and it's just been really cool to learn more about.
Yeah.
I can tell you care, you genuinely care
Yes,
about
yes,
this,
yeah.
but the people behind it all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and very, very genuine people. But just thank you for what you're doing
Yeah.
here in Castle Rock
Thank
and how you're
you.
making an impact in this community.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
it's really neat.
Thank you.
I'm excited to explore it more. My daughter, I'm going to tell her for sure about this.
Yeah.
She's also an artist
Yeah.
and
Oh, we'd love to have
absolutely
Yeah.
loves it. She's a senior this year in high school. So
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, I have
Send
a
her
feeling
over.
she's going to want to know
Yeah.
everything she can as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for sharing everything. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having
Take us home, my friend.
All right. Well, this has been another incredible episode. Cheers to
Cheers,
everybody.
buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the
Sure.
way, we got these brand new
We're
mugs
so
Yeah.
excited.
inside Castle Rock. You're our first guest to get these,
Yes.
which is awesome. You're also officially Castle Rock insiders. So
Thank you.
that's
Thank
pretty
you.
exciting. Yep.
That is exciting.
Absolutely. But thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hi.
Bye.
That brings us to the end of another episode and a great conversation.
We hope you enjoyed getting to learn more about our community and the people of our town.
If you want to become a Castle Rock insider, all you have to do is like that video that you just watched and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We're also on all the social media channels. You can find us there or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time inside Castle Rock.